choose you! Wait.
Hi, I'm Professor Silver, and today I'll break down the history of Ash's Buizel, detailing his journey from a rambunctious loner into one of the most formidable water types that the Sinnoh region has ever seen. Buizel debuted in the episode Buizel Your Way Out of This. As a wild Pokemon, he dedicated himself to training, never once wavering in his resolve to get stronger. Every time a trainer crossed his path, he challenged them to battle and stole their fishing rod as a memento for beating them. His beatdowns were often so intense that trainers often fled to the Poke Center immediately after losing to him. Dawn, Zoe, and Ash all wanted Buizel's strength for their own, but initially, none of them had the skills they needed to beat him. One after another, Buizel defeated Piplup, Glameow, and Pikachu. It was an incredible display of power, as he tanked moves like Peck, Bubble Beam, Shadow Claw, Fury Swipes, Iron Tail, and even Volt Tackle. Despite Zoe and Ash's efforts to win Buizel over, it was ultimately Dawn who succeeded in catching him. Following a heroic rescue stemming from Team Rocket's sinister plot to catch Buizel, Dawn again battled him with Piplup. Piplup initially struggled, but still eked out the win after Dawn started battling like a coordinator. Using Bubble Beam and Whirlpool, Piplup weakened Buizel just enough for Dawn to catch him. After capture, Buizel struggled to fit in with the rest of the gang's Pokemon. He was obsessed with training and unused to living with others, so he ostracized himself from them at the start of the episode, an elite meet and greet. Buizel rejected Piplup's friendship, so Ash suggested that he and Dawn diffuse the tension by having Buizel train with Turtwig. Even though Buizel defied Dawn's orders during the battle, he won anyway thanks to his raw power. Of his own volition, he activated Aqua Jet, withstood Bite, and claimed victory with a flurry of sonic booms. In spite of the victory, Buizel's disobedience still deeply bothered Dawn. She was motivated to try and improve her bond with him in an effort to finally smooth things over. Luckily, her mission of reconciliation was aided by Lucian of the Sinnoh Elite Four. The man took a special interest in Buizel after the Pokemon glared at Brock's Krogunk, watched him partake in the Champion League, and issued a challenge for battle. Buizel's ambition embarrassed Dawn, but Lucian thought it admirable. During the battle, Buizel again refused all of Dawn's orders. As a result, Lucian's Bronzong secured an easy win using Iron Defense, Gyro Ball, and Flash Cannon. Upon Buizel's getting healed of his injuries, he revealed that the loss had deeply wounded his pride. Because he had probably never lost a single battle before, he regressed into a depressed state, far different than his normal ready-to-fight self. He was so disheartened that neither Krogunk nor Ash could awaken his fighting spirit. It was only after Team Rocket caged him that his feelings of sadness were replaced by anger. In order to avenge his bruised ego and regain his fighting spirit, Buizel boomed himself free and teamed up with Lucian. Under the trainer's direction, he beat Carnivine with Sonic Boom and clobbered Dustox with Aqua Jet. Not only did the battle restore Buizel's confidence in himself, but it also taught Dawn that she needed to start adapting to his fighting style. From that point forth, Buizel was loyal to Dawn, never again disobeying. The first demonstration of Buizel's loyalty came during Dawn's rematch with Lucian. Following Dawn's guidance, he dodged Gyro Ball, traded Aqua Jet for Iron Defense, and landed a powerful water gun. Having bonded with Dawn, Buizel then went on to befriend the gang's Pokemon in Steamboat Willies. Throughout the episode, he bonded with the likes of Sudowoodo and Staravia by chillin', jammin', and dancin'. Unfortunately, Buizel's relationship with Piplup was far more complicated. In the episode A Stand-Up Sit-Down, the two's ire for each other only grew after Piplup scolded Buizel for intimidating Zoe's Shellos. Their fighting led Zoe to tell Dawn that the upcoming Heart Home contest would involve a double performance in the appeals round. In anticipation of the contest, Dawn came up with combinations by battling with Zoe and Ash. The battle with Ash involved Buizel and Buneary fighting Pikachu and Aipom. Buizel dodged Swift and Quick Attack, but failed to capitalize on the misses as Buneary accidentally froze his Aqua Jet with Ice Beam. It was Dawn's goal that the attack form a unique move known as Ice Aqua Jet. That said, the combo needed way more training. Soon after it failed, Aipom feinted Buneary with Focus Punch, and Pikachu defeated Buizel with Volt Tackle. Following the loss, Buizel and Dawn made it their mission to master Ice Aqua Jet. Dawn hoped for Buizel to learn the combination before she entered the Heart Home contest, but it's unknown if he did because she failed to pass the contest appeals round in Dawn's early night. Instead of dazzling at a contest, Buizel saved Ash in Mass Hipposis and teamed up with Piplup against a Wild Onix in an amazing race, and a crazed Gyarados in Sandshrews' locker. Additionally, Buizel joined forces with Conway's Heracross against Ash's Chimchar and Paul's Elekid at the Heart Home City Tag Battle competition in the episode Smells Like Team Spirit, with Buizel and Heracross easily establishing an early lead. To start, they doused Flamethrower with Aqua Jet and used Revenge to counteract Thunder. Furthermore, when Chimchar and Elekid fought back with Dig and Protect, Heracross feinted them, allowing Buizel to land Water Gun. Although Buizel also withstood Dig, landed Aqua Jet, and blocked Flamethrower, things took a turn for the worse after the collision between Heracross's Mega Horn and Elekid's Thunder Punch led to the latter's evolution into Electabuzz. Due to Electabuzz's newfound power, Buizel and Heracross fell to the combined might of Flamethrower and Thunder. Buizel rebounded from the loss by training with Pikachu in the episode Tears for Fears, and Zoe's Glameow in throwing a track switch. After Glameow deflected Water Gun and dodged Aqua Jet, Dawn expressed frustration that Buizel wasn't graceful enough. She hoped to use him at the Solaceon City contest, but Buizel was far more interested in Ash's training. As a result, Zoe suggested Dawn trade him to Ash, as similarly, Ash's Aipom had developed a major love for contest. According to Zoe, Buizel's hopes and aspirations were far better suited for life with Ash. After Buizel and Ash revealed that they were a perfect match for each other while battling Team Rocket, Dawn agreed to the trade. It pained her to do so, but she trusted that Ash would care for Buizel and nourish the Pokemon's abilities. Like he had been with Dawn, Buizel was fully loyal to Ash, never once wavering in his desire to see Ash prosper as a trainer. To help Buizel prosper as well, Ash vowed to use him at the Veilstone Gym. Buizel was more than ready when it came time for the gym, as he trained with Aipom and fought a Spiritomb in the Keystone Pops, clobbered an Aggron in Bibarel Knows Best, thwarted Team Rocket in Nose and Round the Mountain, and helped train Piplup for his battle against Maylene's fighting types in crossing the battle line. During the Veilstone Gym battle itself in a triple fighting chance, Buizel was Ash's last man standing against Lucario. At first, Lucario toppled Water Gun and tripped up Buizel with Bone Rush. Buizel retaliated with Aqua Jet and Sonic Boom, but Lucario's Aura Sphere and Force Palm quickly got the better of him. Rather than give up then and there, however, Buizel taught himself Water Pulse and used the attack to deflect Aura Sphere. He then traded Aqua Jet for Force Palm, exchanged Water Pulse for Aura Sphere, and tanked Metal Claw. Right as all seemed lost, it started to rain. The rain doubled Buizel's speed as it activated his Swift Swim ability. Significantly faster, he dodged Bone Rush, shot off Aqua Jet, started to spin, and used Water Pulse. Because Lucario met the combination with Force Palm, the battle resulted in a tie. In spite of the outcome, however, Maylene still rewarded Ash the Cobble Badge anyway, as she thought he deserved it. Following the gym battle, Buizel trained with his friends in Our Cup Runneth Over and caught the eye of Master Coordinator Wallace. Wallace was a coordinator so powerful that he was also Hoenn's champion. At Wallace's urging, Buizel and Ash entered the Wallace Cup so as to hone their battling abilities. During the contest appeals round in the episode Staging a Hero's Welcome, Buizel zoomed around the field, inflated his collar, hopped into the air, fired off Water Gun, and finished with finesse. The performance so dazzled the judges that he and Ash advanced onward to the battle rounds. While there, impruning a passel of pals, Buizel devastated a Kecleon and squared off against Kyle's Lanturn. After Lanturn activated Charge, withstood Sonic Boom, landed Thunderbolt, and fired off Ice Beam, Buizel finally unveiled his mastery over Ice Aqua Jet. Although he executed the move perfectly, he still fell to Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt. Regardless, by mastering the combination and excelling during the competition, he affirmed that the trade between Dawn and Ash had placed him with a trainer far more befitting his aggressive fighting style. Having leveled up as a fighter, Buizel set out to improve his standing on Ash's team by reaffirming his strength against Crasher Wake at the Pastoria Gym. Unfortunately, before the gym battle took place in a Crasher course in power, Buizel's temper got the best of him. He was so eager not to tie again, like he had done against Maylene's Lucario, that he vented all his misplaced anger on Turtwig and Pikachu. During the gym battle itself, Buizel's first opponent, Quagsire, absorbed Sonic Boom, but then fell to Ice Aqua Jet. Crasher's Floatzel, the evolved form of Buizel, proved a far tougher opponent. After deflecting deflecting Aqua Jet and punching through Water Pulse. It landed Razor Wind, brushed away Water Gun, pushed Buizel downward, activated Bulk Up, and countered Sonic Boom with another Razor Wind. Eventually though, Buizel landed Aqua Jet, bit through Ice Fang, and let loose another Water Pulse. Because Floatzel bounced it back, Buizel became too confused to take orders. Rather than let Buizel hurt himself, Ash swapped in Pikachu, giving him time to recover. Following a quick jolt of deflected electricity and a short rest, Buizel returned to the field as a triumphant hero. Before he started the battle, he extended an olive branch to Pikachu by freeing him of the ice that had stuck to his back. Upon resuming the battle, he exchanged Aqua Jet for Ice Fang, went underwater to weather Razor Wind, won out with Water Pulse, and earned Ash the Fen badge. Thanks to the win, Ash went on to use Buizel against Heart-Home Gym Leader Fantina in playing the leveling field. Unfortunately, like Pikachu and Chimchar, Buizel didn't stand a chance. Fantina's Drifloon dodged Water Gun, landed Ominous Wind, tanked Aqua Jet, induced Sleep with Hypnosis, and won with Psychic. After the battle, Buizel, Ash, Pikachu, and Chimchar all worked together to develop the Counter Shield, a technique that allowed them to repel the effects of incoming moves like Hypnosis. After Buizel mastered the technique and losing its lustrous, he and his teammates again fought Fantina in Shield with a twist. His first opponent, Gengar, got off to a strong start. It floated away from Aqua Jet, evaded Sonic Boom, fired off Shadow Punch, and let off Hypnosis. In response, however, Buizel activated the Counter Shield, tanked Nightshade, and won with Water Pulse. The only downside of winning the battle is that it left him unable to muster enough strength to beat Drifblim. Like it did in its pre-evolved form, the Blimp Pokemon beat him using epic moves like Ominous Wind, Will-O-Wisp, Hypnosis, and Psychic. Although Ash still earned the Relic Badge in the end, Chimchar's being the star of the battle signaled his ascension into an ace. The Fire type would go on to be Ash's last man standing at Byron, Candace, and Volkner's gyms. Despite Buizel's fall in stature, he still played a vital role on Ash's team as a major bruiser. Unfortunately, his bruiser status seemed to disappear at the Canalave gym in dealing with defensive types. Chimchar earned 2 victories, while Buizel earned little more than a sound beating from the gym leader Steelix. Steelix overpowered Water Gun with Screech, landed Bind, and defeated him with Iron Tail. Not counting the loss, however, Buizel maintained his stellar reputation throughout the saga by helping save Riolu in Pokemon Ranger in the Kidnapped Riolu, defeating Jesse's Yanmega in The Thief That Keeps on Thieving, defending Ash from a Luxio in Leading Astray, beating James's Carnivine in Classroom Training, and displaying awesome agility while training Ash's Gligar in fighting Fear with Fear. Despite his many triumphs and even his win over a wild muck in the Psyduck stops here, he still fell prey to Paul's Ursaring in the Lake Acuity rival battle. The Ursaring battle took place in the episodes Pedal to the Metal and Evolving Strategies. Before it began, though, Buizel first fought Paul's Magmortar. He landed Aqua Jet, but Magmortar laid down Rock Tomb and dispersed Smog. When Ursaring finally arrived on the field, it hammered through Water Gun, activated Bulk Up, and slashed through Aqua Jet. Buizel then used the Counter Shield to deflect Focus Blast, but Ursaring won the battle anyways. It gathered its strength, shrugged off Sonic Boom, unleashed an epic clothesline, and triumphed with another Focus Blast. The loss was largely Ash's fault, as he let his friendship with Buizel cloud his judgment. He intended to return Buizel before he fell, but let him keep fighting when the Pokemon requested to stay on the field. Had Ash stuck to his instincts, Buizel could have lived to fight another match in the battle. Following the loss and uncrushing defeat, Buizel recovered from his injuries and helped restore his and Ash's self-confidence by dissipating Seviper's haze and blasting off Team Rocket. Although he then fell to Crimson's Zangoose in beating the Hustle and Bustle, and failed to catch Ash a Gibble, as well as feuded with Corey's Totodile in a rivalry to Gibbelon, he kept his head held high and saved the Gibble that Ash later captured in Short and To the Punch. The rescue earned him the respect of Black Belt Clayton, as well as a challenge to battle his Mr. Mime. Despite Buizel's best efforts, Mr. Mime redirected Aqua Jet, dodged Sonic Boom, and won with Thunder Punch. It wasn't until Buizel trained to master Ice Punch that he finally regained his position as a ferocious warrior. Under Clayton and Ash's tutelage, Buizel practiced the move by punching both waterfalls and leaves. Thanks to the exercises, he learned Ice Punch, upped his concentration, and bolstered his power. In his rematch with Mr. Mime, he proved himself a true league-level threat. He soldiered through Psychic, shot off Sonic Boom, exchanged Ice Punch for Thunder Punch, and activated Swift Swim after it started to rain. Once his speed had upgraded, he dodged Thunder Punch and triumphed with Ice Punch. Learning Ice Punch both differentiated Buizel from his water-type predecessors and gave him coverage against Grass, Flying, and Dragon types. That said, the move didn't help much against Flint of the Elite Four in his Infernape, and Flint sparks the fire. Infernape evaded Water Gun, blocked Ice Punch, smashed Sonic Boom, and won out with Flare Blitz. Ice Punch also failed to earn Buizel a victory against Kenny's Empoleon, and 4 roads diverged in a Pokemon port. Truth be told though, Buizel only lost the battle because Ash sabotaged his efforts. Rather than stay true to himself, Ash tried to win the battle by replicating Flint's defensive style. Buizel dodged Flash Cannon and intercepted Drill Peck, but Empoleon tore through Water Gun, dodged several Ice Punches, did heavy injury with Metal Claw, and won with Drill Peck. Where Ice Punch finally came in handy was the Sinnoh League. Likely using the fury he felt from his recent losses, Buizel absolutely crushed Paul's Gastrodon in the quarterfinals. During the battle, in the episode Familiarity Breeds Strategy, he transformed his Aqua Jet into Ice Aqua Jet using Gastrodon's Ice Beam and claimed victory with Ice Punch. Following the win, Buizel further proved himself a bruiser and a real rival rouser by battling Paul's Drapion. Drapion is a Pokemon I largely consider to be the series' strongest poison type. At the battle's start, Buizel deflected Pin Missile, dodged Cross Poison, and unleashed Sonic Boom. Although Drapion shrugged off the attack, locked Buizel within its embrace and stopped his counter, Buizel broke free using his Flotation Sac and retaliated with Water Gun. Unfortunately, in spite of Buizel's best efforts, Drapion laid down Toxic Spikes and won with Pin Missile. Ash won the battle in the end, but then lost to Tobias. At Saga's end, Buizel was left at Oak's lab so that Ash could start fresh in Unova. Since then, he's cameoed in both Black and White and Journeys. After reuniting with Ash in Advice to Go, Buizel greeted the Trainers Journeys team in the episode Friends, Rivals, Lend Me Your Spirits, and helped Lucario train for the Masters 8. Additionally, during the tournament itself, Buizel cheered for Ash, appeared in Pikachu's Spirit Vision, and celebrated the two's victory. Once Ash was declared Monarch of the World Coronation Series, Buizel rejoined his team as a rotating reserve. During the Aim to be a Pokemon Master series, he appeared in 2 distinct episodes. In the first, The Road Most Traveled, he saved Latios from drowning. In the second, The Rainbow and the Pokemon Master, he helped Ash look for a lost Charmander. As that concludes Buizel's history to date, let's get to his battle record. Buizel won 16 times, with his most impressive wins being against Ash's Pikachu, Crasher's Floatzel, Clayton's Mr. Mime, and Paul's Gastrodon. He lost 13 times, with his most notable opponents being Paul's Ursaring, Flint's Infernape, and Paul's Drapion. Buizel's one and only tie was to Maylene's Lucario. Move-wise, Buizel used Aqua Jet, Ice Punch, Sonic Boom, Water Gun, and Water Pulse. For all intents and purposes, Buizel is the Vegeta to Infernape's Goku. He had the potential to be one of Ash's best Pokemon, but Infernape's hogging of the spotlight led him to be robbed of the chance to become the hero we all know he had the potential to be. Had Buizel evolved or starred in a league battle, I think there'd be no debate as to whether he could take out Corphish, Kingler, or Squirtle in one-on-one combat. While I wish Buizel could have earned more wins, I still think he's an awesome character, worthy of praise, admiration, and all of our respect. On that, class is adjourned. My name again is Professor Silver. Until next time, catch you later.